Tampa Bay -3, 48 versus the Rams. It's in the big sombrero. I like the Rams, but everyone likes the Rams. What do you do when you like a team and then everybody likes them? We're going to do this again? Am I really going to bet against Tom Brady? It's only January 21st. Is it too early to bet against them? I know both opposing quarterbacks were junk last week, Hurts and Murray, but Kyler's actually good. I'm going with the Rams here. They've won 7 of the last 9. I think Stafford got the shitty games out of his system. And Beckham and Cam Akers have turned this team around, I think. I know Akers didn't go nuts. He was 17 for 55, but splitting the load with Michelle, you're getting like I don't know, you're getting a guy with like a lot of pep in him every time. With Michelle, was 13 for 58. They're almost destined for 100 yards rushing between them easily. I think they pass all over the Bucs. They're 5-2 in the last 7 against the spread, last 7 overall. I'm taking the points. I should probably buy up, but I think they win the game. I think they're going the NFC Championship. I'm taking the Rams. Harry, you're buying it up a little bit.
I'm going to buy it up to 4, but Sal, I think they win the game. I think it's definitely worth a sprinkle of a money line here too. I know McVay did lose to Brady in the Super Bowl, but since Brady has been in a Tampa Bay Bucs uniform, McVay's got his number. He's beat him both times. He beat him last year. He beat him this year. Injuries, I think it's building up for Tampa Bay. We thought Fournette was going to go. He didn't go last week. And the addition to Von Miller was fantastic Monday night against the Cards. You mentioned Odell Beckham, Sal. He's got 6 touchdowns. He scored 6 touchdowns in 8 games with the Rams. He's been doing it all for them. He's been fantastic filling in for Woods. And again, we know how great Cooper Kupp is. Rams, I think, get it done here. I think the Patriots, the Buccaneers have too many injuries here, too many question marks. Rams buying up to 3.5, but money line maybe a little bit as well.
All right, yeah, that might be smart to buy it up to the 3.5. I don't know, Brian. It's always tough betting against Tom Brady. You got to think about it long and hard for an hour before you do it. Maybe even days.
I'm trying to think. The last time, I won money betting. Somehow I bet the Eagles against Tom Brady that Super Bowl, and I won. But that might have been the last time in the last 6 games I've won money against Tom. But I went against the Rams kind of last week, and now I'm jumping on the Rams. It just seems like too many things have kind of been going on with Tampa and their drama, right? Between Arians, between Brown, were they lucky to play the Eagles last week? Probably yes. We know it's hard to go against Tom here. But I think it's a field goal game, probably either way. You probably can't look at the Rams domination early in the season, but at the same time, that's when the Bucs were healthy. And the biggest question is going to come down to, the injuries on this Bucs team. They've lost so many guys, and then the 2 guys going down, the fact that Wirfs, they don't know if he's playing yet. Even if he plays, against this Rams defensive line, that could really hurt Brady. And I do see Brady struggling early on in this game, in this one. But the one thing I guess you could say the challenge for McVay was going to be, running the ball against the Bucs, because when the Bucs are healthy, their run defense is always phenomenal. But I will say, you mentioned Akers' stats before, and they didn't sound good. Yeah. But Akers looked really good. I took the under, and I knew immediately he looked just as quick as ever. He was catching balls out of the backfield. He did
40 yards receiving.
Yeah, he adds another dimension to them. And like you said, you can just kind of play off those 2 running backs. But so I'm taking the points in this one.
It's interesting. Like this was 2.5, and we talked about the game yesterday. The Chiefs were 2.5, and they're both going to go to 3. This one did go to 3. If I would have think one of them was going to go to 3, I would have thought it was the Chiefs. It went down a 1.5 or a point at least. And Parlay Kid, you don't care. This is Tom Brady. You're playing. This is what it seemed like everybody was afraid of, though, playing a hot Rams team, and this is as hot as they get, but you're not buying it.
I don't know. How hot are the Rams, Sal? They lost to the 49ers a couple weeks ago. They're not that hot. So I can't buy into it yet. Kind of look, you got a matchup of really 2 of the most handsome men in football with Brady versus McVay. Am I right, Harry? And as of
and McVay.
And as on a side note, as somebody said, Brady's older than all the what NFC,
was the NFC opposing coaches?
All the
Darren,
NFC
by the way,
opposing coaches.
Remember, McVay's married. We met her. Remember, Darren? So
Listen,
Well, you might get
I had a really good conversation with McVay, and it ended up costing me thousands of dollars because I did listen to him. So,
Dayton bullshit. More Dayton bullshit.
Listen, but so my heart, again, I wouldn't mind seeing the Rams win this game. How am I betting against Tom Brady? If Tampa is good at stopping the run, you have to really beat Tampa through the air. And so now you're talking about, all right, Brady versus Stafford. Who am I putting my money on? I think it's very simple. I'm going to go with Brady until he shows me he can't win this game. And then I'm not going to go with Stafford, who's won one playoff game in his career. And honestly, the reason why the Rams won the ball last week because they were very effective running the ball, and the Cardinals stunk. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball on the Bucs like this. They're going to make Stafford beat them. That's it. I mean, granted, Stafford with the running back situation now is very good. Beckham, Kupp, very good. Higbee, solid. Van Jefferson, solid. So he's got the weapons. They can do it. I'm just not there yet to bet against Brady, Sal.
It's got the feel of the Georgia-Alabama game a little. Like, is Stetson Bennett going to beat, right? It does Stafford and Stetson and everybody. And I'm not betting against
Stafford's a Georgia guy too. So
yeah, it's true. I'm not betting against Nick Saban until he gives me a reason to, but whatever. One has nothing really to do with the other than me talking about. All right, prop picks. We went 2 each. I'll start you off with an easy one. Cooper Kupp to score. The odds are off. It's minus 140. He scored 6 of the last 7 games. Yeah, it's just not right. I don't know that they'll score 6 or 7 touchdowns, but if they score 2 or 3, really, really good chance he's getting one of them. And this thing opens things up nicely for Odell. We'll talk about him in a minute. Brother Bry, what do you like?
Yeah, I like the Rams. I like the Rams over 2.5 touchdowns. I was just saying before, obviously it's hard to run on Tampa, but the Rams are going to make big plays in this game on them down the field. I think, Stafford, they have nice connections with, like Parlay Kid was saying, Odell, Higbee, in addition to Kupp, and then Van Jefferson and then Akers. So plenty of weapons here. So, they scored 34 last time. I think they're going to get, I think they're getting 3 touchdowns in this game for sure. I
like that. I started looking into that. I don't know when the last time they didn't get 3, right?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I looked at that too. I was going to ask you guys that question, like as a joke. Say, know when? It's like the Ravens game.
Are you sure? They had 2. Right, they had 2.
They had 2, right?
Okay, because I have one here, and I'm stealing this from the Parlay Kid because he likes these, and I think we're going to see this later from him. But the Rams and Bucs to each score 1 or more touchdown in each half. That one against the Ravens. It's actually won 4 in a row and 7 out of 8 in Rams games. And the Bucs have hit this 4 in a row and 8 out of 9. So I think the plus money is silly with these offenses clicking like they are. Plus 136. All right. You also like Stafford though, right, Brian?
Yeah. I like Stafford over 38.5 longest completion. He's had a completion of 41 yards or longer in 12 games this season. So what is that? 12. It puts him, I guess, at 12-6 on the season. So this could, they have so many weapons. Again, this could be Kupp going over the middle, 20 yards, running another 20 yards. This could be a bomb to Odell or Van Jefferson. This could be a throw to Akers out of the backfield, down the seam. So a lot of ways for this to play out. But I like him. I think I'll have a solid game, but I do think he's going to make a couple of long plays down the field.
All right, Harry, you have a Stafford prop as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take Stafford over 279.5 passing yards at minus 114. He finally got the playoff monkey off his back last week. And Parlay Kid, you're right. He didn't have to do too much against Arizona, just 13 of 17. But in the matchup against Tampa earlier this season, when the Rams did beat Tampa, he had a great game, one of his best games of the season. He went for 340 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. So now that he got that win, maybe he just comes out and he just fires and he has a great game here. And I also am going to go Mike Evans for the Bucs over 70.5 receiving yards at minus 110. 8 catches for 106 in the first matchup against the Rams. Had 117 last week versus Philly. Brady only found 3 other wide receivers last week. You saw him. He was Brian. I think you had Tyler Johnson as a prop last week in that game. He dropped a couple early. You saw Brady ripping him. Don't know how much confidence he has in him. And Evans also 7-1 at home this season, over 70 yards receiving. Give me Evans over 70.5 at -110.
All right.
Pretty good value there.
Parlay Kid, there's no real rushing quarterbacks except for maybe Josh Allen. If you'd consider maybe Holmes, I don't know.
Right.
But the traditional rushing quarterbacks are not around now in the second round, divisional round.
Right.
And you would not include Tom Brady as one of them.
Right. Yeah, Sal, I'm taking Brady under the 1.5 yards rushing here.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I never go under in props. I hate going under. I hate rooting for the under. But Brady actually has gone over this total more than I thought this year. He's gone over it at least 10 times, which I was kind of surprised to see. But the one time I did go over, he went under. He had 0 yards. I've done this twice this year.
Session. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I had Stafford, I think once over 2.5, and Brady once over 1.5. And they both came up short for me on those bets. So I'm just betting that Brady just never takes off here. Aaron Donald keeps him in the pocket. He stays under the 1.5, and maybe I get lucky. And if they're winning the game, he is a yard or two over this. He takes a couple knees.
I was just going to say, he can get -6 on the last 3 plays. Yeah,
so
just
maybe I could always get lucky on a win. So I'm going to go under. I'll laugh myself to sleep if this goes over. It'll be kind of funny. And then I'm going to go Brady over 2.5 touchdown passes at plus, I wrote it down, plus 148. Brady over 2.5 touchdown passes, 140. He's thrown 8 in his last 3 games. The bigger the game, the bigger the stage, the better the guy plays. I'll take over 2.5 all day with him here, and I'll root for it at plus 148. Let's roll.
Did you have Mahomes over 2.5 last week? You did, right?
I had that and was over by 6 minutes into the game practically. Well, not 6 minutes, but 6 minutes into the second quarter. It felt like it was over. Yeah.
Yeah, they scored. They went crazy scoring.
Boom,
All right,
boom,
first
boom.
touchdown. Odell Beckham, like I said, I had him last week in the EP arcade free-to-play game. It got me a half a gold hat. He's the scariest player on the field all of a sudden. And he has an advantage because the Bucs are trying to solve this Cooper Kupp riddle like everybody else. So they're covering like 9-yard routes, and Odell Beckham over the top is open at 10-1. He's a scoring machine. What'd you say? He has 6 touchdowns, Harry?
Yeah.
It's all in a handful of games. Yeah, I think they come out, they score Stafford, and it's like, oh my God, the Bucs have their backs against the wall. Beckham, 10-1 odds. Harry, what do you like?
I'm going to go Cam Akers at 9-1 for a guy who's been out for the whole season, played a couple snaps in that San Fran game in the end of the regular season. Had a real nice game last week. Looked sharp, had almost 100 total yards from scrimmage, had 18 touches, scored in both playoff games last year, which both games were on the road in his rookie season, and scored a receiving touchdown in the game against Tampa last year. So give me Akers at 9-1. He looks sharp.
All right, Parlay Kid.
So I'm going Higbee, the tight end, another tight end for me. I had him the other day. He almost got in on the first the first touchdown. I think got tackled about the 4 or 3. I think Higbee's another interesting tight end at 13-1. I always love to roll with the tight end. So let's go Higbee. He's scored he's got a collection of touchdowns, I think 5 or 6 on the year. So let's hope that he can get in here while all the concentration is on Kupp and Beckham. Higbee, touchdown, 13-1.
Bro, you got Adams first touchdown. You got Cooper Kupp first touchdown. I like them anytime touchdown. Why not play it safe?
I love the anytime. We should parlay. We got to parlay those 2 anytime touchdowns.
No,
but
just $100,000 separately each. We'll go 2 out of 3. Might not go 3 out of 3.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we could do that. If I haven't lost it all on the Chiefs by then. But I will say, Kupp. You get him at 6-1. The fact that Kupp it's weird that Kupp, Fournette, and Evans all have the same odds at 6-1. Kupp, like you said, has scored in 6 of his last 7. He has 7 touchdowns a game, but he's basically scored almost in every game. He has 17 touchdowns. He has 17 touchdowns on the season. He scored twice against the Bucs earlier in the season here. So again, the fact that, I mean, look, He's the same as Fournette and Evans. Gronk is basically the same. Keyshawn Vaughn is only 8-1. Akers is 8-1. I mean, the fact you're getting Kupp at 6-1, one of us has to take him.